You know what? A friend of mine is a physician, and he uses this analogy that when he went to build his house, he said if he's got some contractors from California that came to help, contractors from Michigan that came to help, contractors from Texas that came to help, and contractors from Florida that came to help. He said they worked on that house 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So instead of 6 months, when that house would have been ready, it was ready in less than 30 days. The house, because they worked on it around the clock. And that's exactly what happened with this COVID vaccine. When you got millions of dollars that were actually sent in to do this, and for the first time in the history of vaccine, we had hundreds of thousands of folks that lined up, that volunteered to be in those clinical trials. So we started out with 150,000 folks with J&J, Moderna, and Pfizer that volunteered to be in those clinical trials. And so when you have all those resources that come together like that, then we were able, those folks worked around the clock, 7 days a week, 24 hours, and we were able to get a vaccine that actually went through all three trials. They went through all three of the research phases, first, second, and third. They didn't cut corners at all. And when you heard the terminology fast track, that was actually meant about the distribution of it and the production of it, because ordinarily it would take us several additional months after the end of that third phase. But since you had all those hands helping, you had all the money that was there infused in to help us get this vaccine done and to produce it and to distribute it. That's what warp speed actually was meant for. Not that it cut corners when it came to the phases, because it went through every phase that all vaccines go through. Now, I'll also say this: when Ebola came, old vaccines, we used to take us 10 or 15 years to do vaccines. Ebola came along, it took us we got down to 5. When H1N1, the swine flu came along, the first case was in April. We had a vaccine in November. Nobody said a word. There was not all this. It was too fast. April was the first case. They had a vaccine in November, and now ever since then, they change it every single year. It's incorporated with our flu vaccine, and so every single year they change that vaccine just so it can be more potent and more viable when it comes to the current flu that's out there. So they did the same thing. This is nothing new. This is something that they've been working on for over 30 years. This platform, when it comes to those messenger RNAs that Pfizer and Moderna, they've been working on that for over 30 years. And so as we know better, we do better. We should never have to wait 20 years for another vaccine, because the science is there now to where we can get a vaccine out fairly quickly. And I'm thankful and grateful for that you had all those hands in there that worked around the clock all over the world to get these vaccines out. And what's really great about it is that it was peer reviewed, checked by different folks from all over the world, and they all came down to the same results, that these were safe vaccines for all of us.